Hi, everybody. Welcome back to RVAsec 2023. I'm Chuck Harold. My next guest, what's your name, sir?
Mark Harvey.
Name of your company?
Assura Inc.
Assura Inc. What do you guys do?
We're a cybersecurity company, and so we do the full suite for penetration testing, managed SOC,
All right.
DFIR, pretty much the whole bag.
Now, let's define pen testing. When I started doing this 10 years ago, pen testing meant one thing. It means something different now, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, it means a whole bunch of different things.
Whole bunch of things, yeah.
And that's kind of the problem.
Exactly, yeah.
And so, yeah, like over the years, pen testing could mean anywhere from like vuln scan to a full-blown red team and then anywhere in between, and that's kind of the issue.
And we used to do it once a year, and now I say, why don't you do it every month?
Yeah,
right?
And so it depends on your development cycle. The more changes that you do, it's better to do it a lot more often. And so, yeah, we're trying to kind of clean that up when we interact with clients so they don't have like just a vuln scan they're paying a lot of money for that's not productive. Like we're doing a hands-on and make sure we actually help.
I do consulting, and I come in for the physical side, and there's always an IT guy next to me doing IT. And the last place we went to, this IT guy was like, I think I know more than you do. I don't know what's going on there. And they just ran some automated software for pen testing.
Yep.
And I said, couldn't I use PC Tools for that, which was built in 1986, right? I mean, we thought automation was a good idea. I'm assuming that's not how it's done. There's components there, but really, don't you need hands-on analysis?
Yes.
Okay.
And so, like, as an easy answer, yes. Some of the issue comes with that some people do kind of want, they just want a Nessus scan and a Burp Suite Pro scan.
Better than nothing, I guess, right? I mean,
yeah, and they want to call it quits. It's not super effective. It's not really useful for people in general. And so the reality is that, yeah, you want to kind of use automation to get some of the things that you can get out of the way that are, pretty easy and don't have a lot of subjectivity to them. But then you definitely want a human to do the ones that are more complicated.
So we got blue team, red team, good guys, bad guys. But purple is kind of utilizing both disciplines to solve the issue, right?
Yes and no.
Oh, okay.
It's one of those things where, like, a lot of people like to push the concept of purple, where it's a lot of automation and then working between the two teams and sort of like a coordination and management style. I'm kind of the opinion of where, like, yeah, there is sort of like a blue and a red side, but it's really the same coin. And it's just, if people would work together, like, the more you understand how a vulnerability works, the more you can detect and prevent it.
Now, why do we need a red team? I mean, I know intellectually what that means, but shouldn't your blue team be thinking like that? Do the blue team not think like red? Is it different sort of people?
Over the years, people 100% focused on just defensive and setting up infrastructure, and then they just kind of hope for the best. And
that's a different mindset.
Yeah.
They're not hackers necessarily. Defenders.
Yeah. They're just following directions and making it work as fast as possible. And that's kind of the problem. But, over the years, we've had a lot of great strides in making sure that people learn those concepts, test them safely, and, actually bring some context to what those issues are.
So why don't we put red teams in charge of things? Wouldn't that be better?
I mean, if you ask me, yeah. But it's one of those things where it just has to be hand in hand. Like, no one person can know everything about a stack, and so it's better to have people who are offensive focused, defensive focused, and work together.
So, are people doing pen tests once a month? Is it moving that way? Is that too much? Where's the medium?
I would say that people are probably usually doing a lot of like vuln scans and like asset management scans, things like that once a month. But it's more in line with like your development cycle, and so probably more like in a 3 to 6 to like 9 month kind of an area.
All right. So if I'm a bad guy, I'm going to think like you just thought, and I'm going to find out when your development cycle is, and I'm going to hit you when you're right there where you're not paying attention to it. Seen any threats like that yet?
Yeah. Actually, that's pretty much what the entire bug bounty platform and movement has been based around. Is that people are just sort of like trying to build and iterate as they go.
Right.
People see a new server pop up, and then they immediately attack it.
Now, I like your name. You're assuring that things are running right. Yeah. That's great. In fact, I came up with an idea years ago. Instead of a chief security officer, I called it a chief surety officer, which kind of ties to insurance, right?
Yeah.
And it's more like a verb. You're guaranteeing. You're paying attention. That's different than just a guy with a noun that's the position,
Yeah, I think it's actually kind of ironic because when I went to college, the degree program I was working on was information security and assurance.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, that makes sense. Tell us what you guys do that distinguishes you from other companies.
Well, we're very personable. We like to make sure that we sort of build and grow with the client, and so like we're not really super focused on just doing a one-off test or a one-off meeting with that. It's really about iterating through the process like with them,
right,
and like making it sort of like in that sort of like as a service, but sort of like making sure that we sort of mesh with your team, like grow as your infrastructure grows, test those parts, and make sure that you're like still just as protected as you were after the initial pen test, and then as it keeps going.
So I always thought when they bring in an outside consultant, one view is that your boss doesn't think I'm doing a good job. That's why this other guy's coming in, right? Do you run into that still?
Yeah, you will still always have a hostile admin or someone who really doesn't want you to be there. And so we really try and downplay that, where the point is like we're trying to help you.
Yeah.
You know, just the way I like to look at it is it's like reverse troubleshooting. We're trying to find a problem that hasn't presented itself.
Right.
But could.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what we're doing. Like we're there to augment your team and help you focus, increase funding or, justify what you need. Like if you need a sim, if you need more staff, like we're there to be like, this would probably have been a lot harder if you had those things.
Brilliant. Just give us your name and website one more time.
Yeah, Mark Harvey.
All right, and website?
AssuraInc.com.
Excellent. Back in a minute here, RVAsec 2023. Yeah. Thanks, man.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Good interview.